All right, cool. We're at 67 people. I'm sure some more will float in here, but let's get going on this. So get this up. Let me know when you guys can see this okay.
Sure can.
Cool. All right. Welcome everybody to the December trailer talk. I cannot believe this is our 9th one. It's incredible. We were able to do 9 of these in our first year. This will be the last one for the year. Again, we'll have to start it up again right off the bat in the new year. Can't believe it's 2025 already as well. It's pretty wild. Anybody who's new to this is kind of the agenda we follow every time we run one of these trailer talk meetings. We do like to keep this to a very structured time. That's why we're kind of kicking it off early, even though probably have some more people filtering in here. We're going to have some intros. We're going to do a presentation. This will be part 2 of our presentation with a special guest, Trevor, with Spring Valley is here to help have a conversation. We're going to do a live role play. It'll be very cool. Very excited. I've been thinking about doing this for a while now. So glad that we were finally getting it done. We'll have some updates on the platform, some of the new stuff we've put together over the last couple months, or even the last couple weeks since we talked last. And then we'll have some questions, and I'll show you guys obviously the other stuff that we can you can be asking questions as we're going through these different parts of the webinar today. 45 minutes, and then we'll let you guys go for your Wednesday. So just some ground rules. Chat is open to everybody, so you can say what you're thinking, ask questions, talk about what's going on in terms of relation to what we're talking about. I love this part of the meeting because again, I can't have all you guys in and having your video shared and speakers on just because there's almost 100 people in this call. But I do like you can talk and integrate with each other during the meeting. So keep that to responsible banter, obviously. Looking at you, Taylor Mokate, responsible banter. Thank you. Q&A, put your questions in here. These is just a kind of a list that we can answer and then people can see. Also another tool that allows you to do that. You can put it in the chat as well if you want. And then we can also, like we've done for Trevor here, you can be promoted into the panelist view and you're able to actually ask your question live. Do not be afraid to do this. We really want this to be a community thing. Anybody that's got good questions, we'll have, we like to turn these on and have you ask them live to the whole group here. Let's go ahead and start with facilitators. Ben, if you want to give them a quick intro.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, folks, you've maybe seen me in some training videos. Maybe you've had a training with me or seen my bald head pop up in the help chat. But my name is Ben. I am a success manager with Outbuild. Really enjoy getting to work with each of you every day. And we're here to support. So you've got Brittany and Skylar, they'll do their intros, but we really enjoy getting to train you guys and introduce you to the software, take in your feedback, and help shape the future of this. So just thank you for your time today, and we're super excited to share what we have.
I'm Brittany Evans. I'm also a success manager for Outbuild. Like Ben said, this is kind of like the highlight of our month. We really do enjoy interacting with you guys and getting your feedback. As many of you know, we were recently at Groundbreak and I got to meet a ton of my teams in person. East Coast really showed out at Groundbreak and that was awesome. So again, thanks for being here and I'm excited for our first guest speaker.
Hi guys, I'm Skylar. I'm also a success manager here at Outbuild. I recognize a lot of your names here from the chat, and I am excited to get this trailer talk started.
And I am Mike Wong, head of customer success at Outbuild. Again, really appreciate everyone's time. We've been very busy, but I'm glad we get to have this little slice of time together where we can share some ideas, learn things from each other, and really kind of have a little bit of fun as well. And we have an added bonus. Trevor, if you want to kind of give a little intro about yourself and your background.
Yeah, I definitely need to update that picture. It's from 2017. So I'm Trevor Baggett. I'm the construction technology manager at Spring Valley Construction. This is my second time working at Spring Valley. I worked here previously from 2018 to 21 as a assistant project manager. And then I got called back to come be their technology manager back in May. So I've been here right around 7 months now.
and he was kind of voluntold, but really he did volunteer to be a part of this. We really appreciate your time, Trevor, and your efforts, and not even just growing Outbuild at Spring Valley, but for the community as a whole. We really appreciate just as busy as everybody else, and you're allowing some time to hang out with us. So I always like to go through this, but there's a slight change this time around. We actually have learning resources that are available on any page of Outbuild. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a little question mark. We've actually added a couple more quick links to there, to the live webinars, and also to our community page, with Brittany's going to talk about at the end of the webinar today. But yeah, you can upper right-hand corner, click on any of those links. They take you to these recordings. We usually post them a couple days after we're done recording them. And then you can always use them and share them across your company or with colleagues. So I just want to kind of reset the base of where we left off the last time around. We are talking about how overly complex schedules do cause issues in the construction world, how they make things probably a little more complicated or a lot more complicated than they need to be. Outbuild is solving this problem with still allowing you to have the detail that you need to execute on a project, but not have it all be forced into one scheduling and planning tool, right? And Trevor's going to show us a couple ways that they leverage those two different modules of Outbuild, and how they kind of structure their conversations on setting up master planning and master schedules. It does take a different way of thinking because it is different than the existing tools in construction. You don't want to schedule like this, right? These schedules, they do cause more data entry, a lot of bottlenecking of information. You want to try to consolidate some of the stuff and make it a little bit simpler to understand at a master level. So again, how do you get something that's more complex, move it into something that you can see quickly? It's consolidated, it's concise, and leveraging the fact that you still need to meet certain requirements and commitments. You still need to understand the workflow of the project. If you're going to be trade-based or location-based, these are all decisions. And we're going to do kind of a live scenario of how Spring Valley does it and how you can potentially have these conversations and use Outbuild to its full potential. Understanding site constraints and trade constraints and trade handoffs as well. So again, lots of different ways that some teams do this. I'd love to hear, if anybody has any other ideas in the chat, or, anything that we want to share after this webinar of how you guys have found the best ways to kind of structure these conversations and set up really good master plans. That's the type of stuff that not even could live in the community page for us, but we can share out. Again, we're all trying to solve very similar problems, and there's no reason why we keep them to ourselves, right? Because we can all benefit from sharing that type of knowledge. Using models, another good idea, right? And then also leveraging all your team, right? The thousands of years of construction experience that marches through your job site every day. A large majority of that institutional knowledge is not tapped into. So we'll show you a way to kind of structure your schedule and try to start leveraging some more of that information. So I believe this should work just fine, but Trevor, if you want to start sharing your screen, I will stop sharing mine. And we'll take a look at that schedule we were looking at the other day.
Well, too many screens.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm gonna move Zoom over here. Stop.
I believe the first question we got was, how do we get music in a live recording? And it was through the music app. I think that's what Johnny was asking about. But if anybody else has any
I see that up there now. Johnny, I see that your hand's raised. So if you need any assistance on anything, just let us know.
Yep. So now that we have this open, I think it would be. Yep, we can share. We can see both the site map there and your plan that you have in Outbuild on the master schedule view. So maybe if you just want to kind of walk through the project and kind of your mentality around how you structured your master plan, that'd be great.
Yeah, so this is a garden style multifamily project. It consists of multiple 3-story buildings. Each building is broken out into 2 slab pours. I think that's what we're going to talk about, is the different slab pours and how we're breaking that out on the look ahead. So the sequence is kind of different. The buildings all have numbers, and if we go down here on foundations, we start with building 2, 1, 3, then 10. And that's just the flow of the building. It goes 2, 1, 3, 10. So we're working in a counterclockwise fashion around the project to finish up at the clubhouse. That's started this project a couple months ago. We're already framing on 4 of the buildings, and we're going at it. I'm actually going to spend all day on site with the team doing Procore trainings and a little bit of outbuild on Friday.
So it's cool. Like, we wanted to show this split screen because it is very helpful. If you have another TV, or if you have something that's wide enough that you can do this split screen, you can start having these conversations. And again, we're in a Zoom meeting, so it allows you to kind of draw on it, but you're able to actually have live conversations with an actual, not even just 2D, but you could have a model over there as well, and really reinforce what's you're talking about in Outbuild, right? So that's kind of the idea of what we want to show as well. And then we'll get to even the floor plan level to kind of show how each one of those is built into this plan. But again, open any chat of this makes sense of having something visual along with your plan, so that everybody, if you were just to talk about this side of your plan and just had Outbuild open, it's very easy to confuse, where things are ending, where things are starting, what exact chunk of work you're talking about. It's very useful. Again, we're all very visual planners. Humans are very visual in terms of how they can put information together. Picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So even parts of the project that you might not be thinking about, or parts of the constraints and road access, or all this other stuff that might be part of this planning, super, super important to have something visual that you can draw on, simple as something printed up on the wall that you can start talking about and pointing at, so that it's clearly defined of what scopes we're talking about, right? Do you want to switch to that slab plan real quick too, Trevor? So same kind of thing here. And this is, if anybody's been in a training where I've kind of set up, we have a floor plan. I have a general Microsoft project file that we're bringing over, and we want to kind of make it an optimized Outbuild schedule. I'll start with looking at their actual floor plan and really talking about, okay, what's the flow through this job? And knowing that, Trevor and I have already had a conversation about this project, there's a split line, or basically there's a part of the project where I believe it's an expansion joint in the middle of it, right? Trevor, is what's going in?
Yes. Yeah, that's at the expansion joint right where the box is.
Right. So there's going to be already a natural break in this concrete pour. So in a way, if you don't have a plan like this already made, or you can do it visually, this makes it very clear of area. And this is pour 1 and pour 2, right? Left hand pour 1, right hand pour 2. This is kind of how you start setting up that conversation. And again, having that map clearly delineated in your planning room or in this discussion up front, there's less chance of a miscommunication in terms of what we're talking about, right? So now that we kind of have that dictated, we know one side is pour 1, the right-hand side is pour 2. We can start looking at, some of the detail. Maybe if you've already brought it in from Microsoft Project, like this clubhouse section, right? We have, you can see it's inherently different than the two or the other pour areas. This has got a little bit more detail in it. And we did show this in the last planning, kind of deep dive and master planning, of how you can take this data very quickly, replicate it, and move it into a look ahead task. So we're going to show you how to do that now too, right? So this clubhouse activity, Trevor's going to go ahead and create. What we want to do is we want to create a space to move some of this information into, right? So what he just did was he created an activity, and he's going to name it Clubhouse. And we're going to move some of this information into what's the master plan activity as a whole is going to kind of capture as a bucket, right? So he creates a task. He has it. He makes sure that it's at the right breakdown level, as in it's lined up at the same work breakdown side. And then once you've created that task, you can actually replicate the durations and even the start dates. Or you can, you replicate the look ahead information. Let's make sure this duration is the same too, right?
Yeah,
because we're making that bucket for that clubhouse. And then, line that. I don't think you're going to start this the day before Christmas. Probably not.
I would doubt that.
just as an example project.
I
So
know
you'll
I
have
will
to
be
drive
off
that
that
off
day.
of, yeah, drive that off of this stuff in there, but not mean to change your plan on the fly, but that's one way to adjust that. And then you align that one. So you can see what we just did was these two activities that really is a bucket or a place that we're going to put this information into. But that's kind of your first step is you got to make that activity to allow for something in the look ahead to move that data into. I believe we replicated this already. Now let's make sure we replicate that in the look ahead. There you go. So what Trevor just did there too, we did show this in the last webinar. You select the work that you kind of want to move and kind of simplify in the master schedule. And then there's a little button up here that allows you to move it very quickly and create look ahead tasks to it, called replicate activity and look ahead. Now that we've done all that, let's go ahead and hit save. And I'm sure there's multiple people of the 78 that are on the call right now that have forgotten to save at a certain point. We talked to a lot of you. Always save when you're working and look ahead, even for a couple minutes. If you go to a different tab, it keeps you from going to other places without saving, but make sure you save. It's just a good way to make sure you don't lose any of your data. Now that we saved, that information's up to the cloud, and he can actually go into the look ahead now, and we can focus on just those tasks.
Hey, Mike, while this is loading,
Sure.
along with saving, what we found out here, because we're all Mac based at Spring Valley, the 2-finger swipe that goes back on pages, we definitely turn that off. The first day we had Outbuild, just turn that off. Otherwise, if you swipe back like you're going back a page, it deletes everything you did.
And luckily you catch that early instead of building lots of projects like that. Yeah, we just had other people. Actually, raise a hand too if anybody wants to throw in the chat who else is using Macs. It's actually becoming more and more prevalent in construction. I know when I first started that nearly there weren't many people that were using Macs, so it's actually cool to see that kind of adjusting in the construction industry. So now we replicated this and we're moving into the look ahead. You can actually go to those new activities we made. Well, that's actually, it's not that one there, Trevor, it's actually just these. Let's just focus on these two, right? 36 and 37. Oh, actually, first thing, because we did this last time too. Let's make sure we're looking at all of the data that's in the look ahead. So go ahead, go to that activity picker again. And let's make sure this filter is not filtered by 4 weeks. Let's just do show all. There we go. And then if we go down to 36, 37 there. So we want to make sure we capture all of this stuff that we replicated. And then he'll apply a filter. It'll focus on just that stuff he had checkboxed. And you can see that each one of these, because we replicated from the master, has its own look ahead task now. And he can select this as a list and move that directly into, you can do shift. You can hold shift down and pick the whole list, or you can do it one by one as well.
Yeah, almost done.
Yep. And then the same location you saw the other one, because we have this clubhouse activity open in here, he can go to select activity, and it is available for him to move that detail into that bucket that we created in the master schedule. So you can see all that information was moved up here now. That allows him to actually even remove that detail from the master schedule. And it actually sets us up with a really good format so that you can start having those conversations with your sub trades. You bring in your actual plumbing sub or your electrical sub, and you can actually grab these and move them to the appropriate dates and locations and times, right? I think you have companies in here, don't you? Do you have everything? Are they
Not
loading
sure
here?
on this project.
Okay, not in this one.
No.
Multiple ways that you can load those. There's a directory import that you can bring in from Procore. There's a couple other ways. Obviously, you can do it this way as well. If you know the concrete guy that you're bringing in or plumber, you can add these in there directly, and then makes a good color coded view for all of these. Any questions on this so far? We did kind of go over this, but I like that we're kind of tying it into floor plans and things that are also reinforcing how other outbuilders are doing this. You see it starts coloring it. And now that
Black's
gives
a
you that,
horrible color to pick.
I gave you the gray one. There's a joke too. I like to pick like the biggest, burliest tattooed guys and make them the hottest pink color I can find in that palette. Seems like it just calms them most of the time in our planning meetings. But yeah, you can take any of these. Again, these can shift up and down in this plan. It does allow you to, again, this is the Wild West. This is where the best ideas come out and you try to put them into the plan. They're all still tied to that main activity. So maybe we reorder some of these and filter some of these out. Obviously, you don't want to do this in a silo. You don't want to just do this making your own assumptions. You want to bring in these team members that will actually be doing this work because they're the ones that are actually going to have to commit to it. So make sure they're involved in bringing it in. So once that's complete, and again, there's no save in the look ahead level, we can go back to the master. We can actually delete that line item that had that extra detail and actually tie logic to that main phase now. So again, you can see there's a number represented on that clubhouse activity now, which is great. That's showing all this information that just moved up here after the task we just did. And now Trevor can actually remove this from the plan. When that reloads, we'll see this consolidated, and then we can actually, from our conversations, I think, go ahead, refresh your screen real quick, just to make sure that it should have updated. We can actually talk about what's driving that clubhouse pour foundation work. Yeah, let's try that one more time, actually. There we go. So now Clubhouse is available to plan to. I don't know if you want to capitalize that just to follow the same nomenclature you had for the other buildings. If we go ahead and click on that line and then there you go, focus to this. So now we can actually look at a higher level. And this is the whole point of having this high level planning, kind of building the skeleton of your project. You can actually take this clubhouse and tie it to what would be driving, if we kind of put our role play hat on, right? What is driving that clubhouse pour, Trevor, that you know of?
Actually, the end of Foundation 10.
Okay, so perfect. So I'll let you tell me how the best way to connect that is. Just like that, pretty simple. So the reason that's locked in there too is because, yeah, you got to change that constraint type. But what he just did is he just dragged from the back of one of these to the front of the other, and that creates a finish to start. And if you align, this is one trick too, that's actually probably good to show on a webinar because it happens to a good amount of people. There's a column that you could turn on called constraint type. This guy right there. What Outbuild does too, when you make a kind of an activity without having a logically tied predecessor to it, it will lock it to a certain date. So if you open up this view, you can see that that activity is running off a start no earlier than, just because you had put it in and you'd kind of moved it without having logically tied it to something. So if he switches that to as soon as possible, that actually aligns it with proper logic tie. Because again, the way that we're proceeding through this pour, the detail that's in here is going to be driven off pour 2 of the building in front of it. What a site plan. So one more time, I said save, just make sure we capture all that. And there are all sorts of intricacies. There's obviously everybody's project's different. You have different variables, different team members involved. But Outbuild does allow you to, again, with just a floor plan and some time from your field team and any other people that would be involved in making this work come to fruition in the field. You want to involve them. You can make these decisions pretty quickly. And then they have that kind of space. Now they have these 40 days with an idea of what could be filled in those 40 days to start having conversations on. And we're not going to get into the detail on this one, but we have weekly planning. We have the commitment level of actually committing week by week while you're still planning further weeks. That allows, again, to hold teams accountable to what we originally planned for.
Can I interject a little bit, Mike?
Sure, absolutely.
Awesome. And just for that kind of higher concept, everybody to keep track of here. We went through kind of a technical movement here of pulling things from the master schedule to the look ahead. And you might be asking yourself, well, why are we doing that? We're just creating our schedule in two different areas. And really what we're doing is we're establishing kind of contractual guardrails here in the master schedule. So that's where that kind of 43 days comes into play with the clubhouse. That's what we need to stay aligned with. But then we're also empowering our field teams to go in there, see the time that they have available, and then start coordinating with their trade partners, with the rest of their project team to fit within those time constraints. And so, we've all seen this. You build out a schedule, you plan 6 months ahead of time, it becomes a little less accurate. This allows it to stay accurate in the field when we consider site conditions, the actual crews that your trades have on site, and then gets everybody on the same page. So just to kind of drive home that message.
Anything else you want to add to? Maybe, and again, be as candid as possible, Trevor. We're paying you to be here, right? But we want you to be honest. You really got in and started using Outbuild, 6 months ago, right? Like it was midsummer. You were tasked with finding a scheduling tool. You found us in the first couple of weeks of looking. Not to toot our own horn, but you were hooked in a sense of this is cool. This is what we need. Kind of give them a heads up, or the teams that are, even if they're later in their implementation or they've had it for a little bit longer than that, what you have seen as a really good way to kind of bring this up and start making change happen inside of your company. And that's the biggest thing we're faced with is the tool's good, the tool's what we need, but getting people to change is not so easy. So maybe you give us a little bit of insight on how that's worked inside of Spring Valley. It'd be great to hear from a customer perspective.
Yeah, so we kind of did Outbuild in two different stages. First was we just needed a schedule software. The one that we had was no longer supported on Mac, and it was just time for it to go. Ben's heard me say that many times. I started on May 28th, and I found Outbuild like June 10th. Started doing a demo with Taylor and Ben, and I think right when I got back from my cruise is when we signed the deal and started to have our trainings. I think we did 3 weekly trainings, right, Ben?
Yep.
Monday, and then knocked them all out. And then we're slowly bringing in the look ahead. I know we did a couple this past week, and then we're going project team by project team as new projects start. Instead of someone's at the end of a project, they're not going to want to start and learn something new. So we're phasing it in as projects are kicking off.
And that is the difficult part too, because an object at rest wants to stay at rest. And I know that it takes effort for somebody to start moving that flywheel and getting people to roll into it. What's your project count at now too? Because this is a big success, I think.
51.
51. So those people that are out there, not everybody maybe has this many projects happening at one time. With a little bit of effort, again, we are here as a customer success team to help you with the technical side of it. We are here where you guys don't have to train people where to click buttons. That's not your job. Your job is to reinforce why you as a company are making this decision, to highlight, the pain that all superintendents feel, all field level staff feel, all PMs feel when it comes to using the existing scheduling tools in construction that aren't built for construction. Reinforce that, and we can help actually drive the conversation on the technical side of how you get you guys to success too. You guys are going to laugh because I was going to try to avoid showing my typical slide, but I will show the trough of disillusionment because you guys know I love showing it. This is an insider joke in Outbuild too, that I can't not show this chart during a webinar. But this is definitely something that everybody goes through. It is the hardest thing about construction adoption. This doesn't have a time scale at the bottom of it, but it's 2 years. On average, it's 2 years to get to productivity. So we want to get you guys to at least realizing the value of it well before that 2 years. I mean, even in the first couple months, that's what our implementation team is really hyper focused on. But getting you guys to full productivity where you're thinking, man, I can't believe we ever did this without a tool like Outbuild. It takes some time to do it. And you will have times where you're in the trough of disillusionment. Please reach out to us. Please, leverage the CS team at Outbuild. We love having these conversations and helping you guys figure stuff out, because it's usually something small that we can adjust or help you build or do something that allows you to get out of that, kind of downtrodden area of this is never going to work, to a point where you can actually see some productivity and really start believing in what we're trying to build and what we're trying to build as a community as well. Thank you, Trevor, for all of that too. I think it's very cool what you guys are doing. The speed at which you're doing it is very impressive. Trevor's contact, I'll have, if you're cool with it, I'll have an email kind of like posted in the next to where we put these webinars up. And I'm hoping you're open to having people ask you questions about your journey and some other stuff that they might not want to ask on this call. So
yeah, email or LinkedIn. I'm on both.
there you go. You can find him with his picture from a couple years ago. It's not that old, is it?
2017.
So I want to actually highlight too and transition a little bit to the spectacular work that our product team has been putting out. Many people have been growing. Actually, sorry, I totally forgot. We have more CS people on this team too. And it's just happened in the last couple of weeks. Nikki and Will are actually both new CSs that have joined the customer success team at Outbuild. Will only is, he's in his first month still. Nikki literally started this week. So both of them are really going to be hyper-focused again, bringing our success mantra to the masses of Outbuild users. You're going to see more faces on there. It's a good sign for us. Product team's growing, sales team's growing, marketing's growing. We landed Series A last month, and we have been using that money to the fullest for sure. One example of which is the production of this new analytics dashboard. If anybody has had a chance to look at that, that's that fourth module down in your Outbuild view. This is very, very cool. Because again, I say it, along with the trough of disillusionment, I talk about this all the time as well. Show me how I'm measured, I'll show you how I perform. If you guys can use Outbuild all the way through the look ahead planning and committing to weekly work plans, this is the type of data that is at your fingertips. No longer guessing or assuming how things are going bad or going well. This tells you exactly how your team is performing. And then you can use this and print it. There's like, I think 15 different formats that you could pull out of each one of these, that you can make this full screen. You can pull it up on a meeting. Everything to weekly commitments and roadblocks. There's tons of data here that you've always had, but you've never been able to use, right? Because a tool like Outbuild hasn't synthesized it in one place for you. Super, super cool. Product team, if you're on, we love you guys. And girls, you're doing a spectacular job. It's what makes everything tick, right? We don't have a job if you guys don't do cool stuff like this. On top of that as well, we've had another little update in the last couple of weeks for driving predecessors and successors that I think is really cool to show. In your activity card for each one of these master plan activities, you're able to open up more information and actually see exactly which predecessors are driving work on the master plan level, and even have a link to free float to actually show how much it's driving your work, which is very, very cool. The other thing too, that was also user request, is this really quick view dependencies filter. So if you have kind of a more complex area where there's lots of logic tied and you want to see just how that thread's working, you can go over here and then filter just by the dependencies in this chart, and it focuses just on that work for you. Again, finding ways to simplify the data, connect all the stuff that might change your plan or stop your plan, so you can make decisions quickly and then get back out to the field to solve those problems. Any questions on any of that in the chat too? Happy to answer any questions on this new stuff. Wait, there's more. Timeline view, updated. Auto import directly from Procore, done, updated. User management improvements. Now you can actually search in more than, we used to have like a cap on like 15 people you could see at one time. You can see how way more than that now. You can also see last time they logged in, the last time they were invited, or if they've actually accepted their invite, giving you guys a lot more power. You don't have to contact your CS to understand why somebody isn't getting a link. All that updated. Editable look ahead. That was a big one that we updated in the last couple of weeks. We're updating it again to give you more flexibility in how you're printing stuff out. The iPad has modification requests you can send over, and you can actually talk to us with the iPad. So if you're out in the field and you just want to chat, hit the little chat button, say hi. We'd love to talk to you too. The other thing, chat is not just when you're angry or mad at us or the software. If you want to chat and suggest something, please do. I'll send you a hat. I'll send you something. We really appreciate all the stuff that you see is being done and produced from the product team. It's being driven from user feedback. We are a construction, scheduling, and planning focused team. We don't have any other people that we need to adhere to, like an Oracle or Microsoft project that has lots of other agendas. We only have you guys. So please, if you have an idea, put it in there. We'll name a button after you. Brittany, I'll leave this to you.
Thanks, Mike. All right, this is the Outbuild community. Some of you have already joined it. If not, please do so. We have the QR up for you to join right there. This is a place where you can hear the latest updates. Sometimes we will post the updates in app. So if you're in Outbuild, you'll see the little pop-up. But for ones that we deploy last minute, maybe ones that are for specific clients, I'll post those in the R&D plus me section. This is also a place where you can give us your direct feedback of what you want to see. And when we do deploy a new feature, you can offer your feedback of that. Is that what you expected for us to put in the platform? Why or why not? Another goal of this Outbuild community is for you guys to chat amongst peers. A lot of times in our trainings and our sessions with our clients, we get a lot of questions about how other teams are utilizing Outbuild and the different sections of Outbuild, like the weekly plan and the look ahead. And I would love for you guys to be able to find different users, clients that are doing similar builds, whether it's residential, commercial, and discuss. What are you doing? Is it working for you? No? Okay, well, this is what I'm doing. So please get in there, join. You can also access this from your phone. I know you guys are waiting for a mobile app from us. In the meantime, you can utilize the mobile app for the community to get the latest feedback. I also post our events in there. And let me know if you have any questions, suggestions of how you'd like to see that community grow.
Oh, there you go. Trevor just joined. Nice job, Trevor.
Thanks, Trevor.
Thanks, Trevor. No, yeah, this is and kind of hats off to Brittany. She really has championed building this. We were in kind of a not even pre-series A. We started doing this because we understood that you plant a tree now, in 20 years, it's going to be something that you can actually sit in the shade of, right? So this is it's going to take a long time to grow, but it doesn't grow without us continuously pushing you guys to be in there and use it. And again, tell us if something cooler would be in there, if we can update you somehow differently. I like having these simple tools that allow you guys to share knowledge across all outbuilders, right? Any other questions? We're about 3 minutes away from time, right on schedule. Really appreciate everyone being in this. There's nothing else to we'll give you another 2 seconds. Don't cut anybody off. You also know where to find us too. Most of you on this call. So recording, absolutely. At the beginning is no worries. Everything will be recorded, and then again at the beginning, Miles, there is which one was it? Under learning resources, and the top right of any Outbuild window, it'll take you straight to this page for the recordings. And then this has the other 8 that we've done this year as well. So yeah, and these are just, again, URL links, so you can send them directly to coworkers, anybody that missed it, save it somewhere if you know, send it. Lots of really good work. The last 2 have had me talking way too much on, so do the one that Ben did and the one that Brittany did. Skylar's going to do all the ones next year. She's going to take them all by herself to do all of them, right, Skylar? Right? Cool.
I'll talk about it. Definitely.
Also, any CS questions, I'm just going to post Trevor's email and you can just ask him directly and he'll let us know.
I'll auto forward it to Ben.
There we go.
And then that'll auto forward to Taylor Mokate because he just
Yeah.
causes problems. So when do you recommend putting milestones? Ooh, that's a really good question, actually. I'm glad you brought that up. So I think there's lots of different ways that people plan work. I don't think I have anything that actually we can use. Yeah, we can here. So I would say your milestone expectations are really coming from like your very first RFP with your owners, or with, you're going to build a building. We're going to try to start it in May and then get it dried in before winter or something like that, right? I would try to put them in as early as possible. A lot of people put them at the top of the schedule so you can kind of see a really quick summary of your major interim milestones that you want to hit. But there really isn't, I would say, a best time to put them in there. I think if something new comes in, or if you want to break a task and really drive to a specific execution point, a milestone is the perfect tool for that. And again, for anybody that doesn't know, to create a milestone outbuild, it's just a 0-day duration task. It'll change to a magenta diamond, and then you can tie logic to it just like anything else. So again, like in this plan here, very clearly delineates when things are being handed off or signed off, tied to, fire inspection or COO or something big. You want to drive to that milestone, you can put those in early. Leah, you're all over this chat. Really appreciate it. You're carrying the rest of the group here. Any other questions at all? Cool, because I have a Will Smith meme that I want to, not Will Smith, Will Ferrell meme that I want to show. So really, really appreciate it. So happy to have more and more people join these, and then our community growing, and you guys listening to us on Wednesdays, the last Wednesdays of every month. Many more of these to come. Tell your friends. We have a lot of fun doing them. Hope you have fun in them. And we'll see you guys next year. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you all.
And thank you again, Trevor, for being a part of this. Really, really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Trevor.
Not a problem.
All right. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody.